Hey there and welcome back to Mass Effect 2. My name is Pete and today we complete another loyalty mission, specifically the one for Jack. In the last episode we wrapped up Tali's recruitment mission and had a fairly long conversation with her, and then we also investigated some anomalous weather as well as Geth presence on the planet Canalus. That was a quick and easy mission however, so today I think it's time for something slightly longer. Now, we have not actually received Jack's loyalty mission yet, but Kelly has already informed us that Jack wants to talk to us, and that is always the sign that a loyalty mission is available. Before we head down to engineering to get that conversation started, however, we have two quick to-dos to take care of, the first one being a short chat with Kelly herself.
I had a wonderful chat with your friend Tali. She's not what I expected from her psych report. I like her.
Right, so there are no morality points available here, and for all intents and purposes, Tali is in fact a good friend to Shepard, so there is no reason to hide that.
Tali's a good friend. We've been through a lot together.
My female intuition says she wants to be more than just good friends.
Okay, so in the last episode I asked you about your romance preferences for the series. However, even if the choice is eventually going to fall on Tali, I don't think there is any need to show our interest to Kelly at this point.
What makes you say that?
It's in her body language. How she turns to you when you enter the room. How she watches your every move. Quarians are so fascinating to me, but they also make me a little sad.
Why do they make you sad?
Their environment suits are so beautiful, but with their immune systems, they're trapped inside. I wonder what they look like under those helmets, or what their skin feels like under those suits.
That'll be all.
Good luck out there, Shepard.
Alright, so we learned that Tali is apparently very interested in us, and who knows, maybe we will pursue that interest further. For the time being though, we can take care of our second quick to-do, and that would be research. As a result of completing that short mission in the last episode, we have received a damage protection upgrade, and with a 30% squad bonus to shields, barriers and armor, we definitely want to make that available to everyone as soon as possible. This is, however, not the only upgrade we will unlock today, because researching the damage protection upgrade has unlocked another one. Specifically, we're talking about the hard shields upgrade that only benefits Shepard, and which gives him a 20% damage reduction as long as his shields are up and running. Needless to say, that is a pretty substantial benefit, even on Insanity difficulty, and so for the price of 25,000 Palladium we will get a hold of it. And with that we have now completed everything I wanted to take care of before talking to Jack, so let's do that next, head down to engineering and see what she wants to talk about.
I got thoughts like little bugs crawling in and out of my head. I can't stop them. You know I have a history with Cerberus. You know how far back it goes?
Alright, and we start things off with the chance to grab 2 free renegade points here. Of course, we don't want to be an asshole, but there is simply no Paragon choice available.
We've got work to do. Get to the point.
I work for you, and you work for Cerberus. They're in my face all the time. This is gonna make me crazy. Crazier. Your pal, the elusive man? Never seen him before, but Cerberus raised me. First thing I remember is my cell door in a Cerberus base. They did experiments, drugged me, tortured me. Whatever chance I had to be normal, they stole it by trying to turn me into some super biotic. The doctors, the other kids, every one of them hated me. They let me suffer.
Okay, so it looks like we have the rare chance here to ask a few questions about Jack's backstory. And let's start with the obvious one, why did they do this to her in the first place?
What did they hope to gain by torturing a little girl?
It was something about pain breaking down mental barriers and how it might clear the way for a more biotic power. I'm sure there was a payoff due at some point, but I wasn't gonna see it. I was wired up in a cell.
They tortured you just to see if they could make a strong biotic? That's it?
Wasn't in a position to ask, Shepard. All I know is a little girl crying in a cell, begging for the pain to stop.
You love the power they gave you.
They never gave me a choice.
Now, she also mentioned other kids being in there with her, which makes one wonder if they had to endure the same suffering.
There were other children in the base?
I didn't know much about them. I was kept separate. They hated me just like everyone else there. When I broke out, I had to fight through them all. I showed them, but there's a loose end I need to deal with.
Additionally, all things considered, this also does not sound like a facility that you simply run away from, so let's learn how exactly Jack got out.
How did you get out of there?
There was some kind of emergency and I made a break for it. The other kids came out of their cells and attacked me. So did the guards. I just killed everything in my way and ran. Guess my biotics had developed faster than they thought. I managed to get a shuttle off the ground. Drifted until a freighter picked me up. The crew used me, then sold me. That's my uplifting escape story.
Alright, now Jack made it very clear that she believes this was a Cerberus facility. And considering our current relationship with them, this could obviously be very problematic.
You're absolutely certain that Cerberus was running the facility?
I was a kid, but I wasn't dumb. I know how to listen. It was Cerberus. Don't care how far down the chain it was. They thought they were so clever. Turns out, mess with someone's head enough and you can turn a scared kid into an all-powerful bitch. Fucking idiots.
Now here we have the first proper morality choice of this conversation, and you probably already know what this one's going to be. We are definitely not going to stick up for Cerberus and instead promise to confront them for 2 Paragon points.
I'm gonna talk to the elusive man, and he'd better have some answers.
He'll just deny everything. That's not what I'm after anyway. I found the coordinates in your files. I want to go to the Telton facility on Pragia where they tortured and drugged me. I want to go to the center of the place, my cell. I want to deploy a big fucking bomb, and I want to watch from orbit when it goes.
Okay, this sounds like a bit of a radical approach, especially considering how Cerberus is more or less funding our entire operation.
Attacking our allies is gonna derail our mission. Not a smart move.
The files say it was shut down after my escape. It's been abandoned for years. They going to care if I blow up a garbage dump?
And let's also investigate why Jack wants to do this at this very point in time, because maybe this can wait until after we're done with the collectors.
You've lived with this your whole life. Why do this now?
Like I said, I found the coordinates in your files. You can't expect me to just sit on information like that.
Okay, so here we have an interesting morality situation, because we can go with both the Renegade and the Paragon option at the same time. The Renegade choice won't lead anywhere, but it will still give 2 Renegade points, after which we can then grab 2 Paragon points as well.
Jack, you can't hang on to this. It's messing you up.
Yeah, great advice, but I've been messed up for years. No thanks to them. The only way I put that place behind me is to watch it burn.
I'll set a course for Pragia.
I owe you, Shepard.
And there we are, Pragia is our new destination. From this conversation we earned 4 Renegade and 4 Paragon points, and without any further delays we will now head right back up to the bridge and plot a course.
Commander, Morden requests to see you.
Now our target for today, that is Pragia, located in the Nubian Expanse. We, however, are still in the Pylos Nebula, where we completed last episode's assignment, so before we can start today's quest we will have to travel back to the Narif system where the mass relay is located. Once we're there, we can then activate the mass relay and start traveling to one of the galaxy's more remote systems. And here we are in the Dakar system. Before we take our usual tour, we can quickly stock up on fuel. We are running a bit low and fuel depots are not available everywhere. The system then has 5 planets that we can quickly visit for completionist purposes, the first one being the ice planet Zernitra. This is an excellent planet if you're looking for platinum, as well over 15,000 units of the mineral can be found here. Apart from that, however, it's not too exciting, so let's keep moving. Up next we have Alkanost, an ice giant, however one that is also fairly unspectacular. Yes, there are moderately sized mineral deposits to be found here, with platinum once again leading the charge, but in the grand scheme of things there are much better spots available. The gas giant Gamma Yun, however, is not one of those spots. Once again, we have a bit of an icy theme going on here, not on the planet itself, but on its 6 moons. Apart from that, however, there are not many reasons to stay here. That brings us now to the hothouse planet Bannock, and the description here already hints at the planet being a mineralogical treasure trove. And for the most part that holds true, because in total almost 19,000 units of palladium can be found here, alongside decent, albeit not great amounts of platinum and iridium. And so we now only have Pragia left. This planet is home to some life, but most of it is extremely fast-growing mutated plant life, which does not really make the planet very habitable. We also don't have the option to send any probes down to extract minerals, but then again that is also not what we're here for. Instead, we want to take a step into Jack's past, so let's assemble our squad and then take a closer look at that facility where she was kept. Alongside Jack, we will bring Morden on this mission. His talents are quite useful for some of the enemies that we will face. We will also not spend any squad points with anyone here, because for both Jack and Morden I would like to unlock their loyalty powers first. And despite what I said in the last episode, our weapon loadout will not change either, so we will give the Geth Pulse Rifle another go in this mission.
I forgot how much I hate this place. See the landing pad? Has to be on the roof, or the vegetation would overgrow it in a few hours.
Shepard, I am picking up thermal signatures everywhere, except at your landing zone.
Something's distorting the sensors.
Of course, thermal shielding, standard for Cerberus facilities.
Yeah, they build their equipment to last. Assholes. It was a mistake coming back here, Shepard.
Now in the shuttle here we can grab 2 more Paragon points by saying a few calming words, and no, we're definitely not turning around.
Get a hold of yourself. It'll be okay.
I'm fine. Okay, let's get on the ground.
So here we are on Pragia, let's quickly activate Inferno ammo and then get going.
Let's just get in there and plant the bomb in myself. I want to watch this place burn. I never saw this room. I think they brought new kids in these containers. They were messed up and starving, but alive. Usually.
Unbelievable.
Now, Jack will have a lot to say throughout this mission, so I won't be talking too much, but then again, her constant feedback to what we discover is one of the main reasons why I like this mission so much, as it is for a change much more heavy on the narrative side of things instead of the combat. Now, around the corner here we have a fairly easily missable terminal, and before we move on, we want to make sure to hack it and grab 3000 credits.
The elusive man requested operation logs again. He's getting suspicious.
When we get results, he won't care what we did. But if he knew...
He won't find out.
Working outside program parameters, hiding information.
He didn't say what they were hiding from the elusive man. I remember escaping to this room, fighting here. I saw sunlight through the cracks in the ceiling. Only a half-dead guard between me and freedom. He was begging for his life.
So it seems like this facility was not always directly controlled by Cerberus, and was, at least for the most part, acting outside of the knowledge of the elusive man. Now around the corner here there is some more loot that can easily be missed, but we will be thorough, bypass the locked storage crate and add 3000 credits more to our account. Shortly after then we can prepare for combat as we hear some animal or beast noise. And as we peek around the corner here we can also see where it's coming from. A group of Varren has taken up residence in the abandoned facility, but with Morden's Incinerate, Jack's Shockwave and a quick trigger we can quickly get rid of them. Before moving on, we then want to investigate the old bloodstain on the floor here, as that will trigger another very interesting conversation.
This looks like an arena.
That's right. They used to stage fights here, pit me against other kids. I loved it. Only time I was ever out of my cell.
And we have the option here to ask a few more questions about these fights, so let's learn all we can before we continue.
What were they studying?
Hell if I know. Maybe that's how they got their kicks. I never understood anything that happened here.
How often did they do this?
I was in a cell my whole life. Sometimes they took me out and made me fight, filled me with drugs, other stuff. Time gets funny in a cell.
Did other children die in these fights?
I was a kid, filled with drugs. I got shocked when I hesitated. Narcotics flooded my veins when I attacked.
They actually rewarded you for attacking?
I still get warm feelings during a fight.
What the hell was wrong with those people?
I don't know. Doesn't matter now.
Let's keep moving.
Hell yeah.
Okay, if it wasn't obvious already, it definitely seems like there were some cruel things going on here. So far though, the reasons behind it remain unclear, so after grabbing some credits from a medkit, we can maybe find out a bit more at the security console over here.
Security Officer Zimkel, Telton facility. The subjects are out of their cells. They're tearing the place up. Subject 0 is going to get loose. I need permission to terminate. I repeat, permission to terminate. All subjects besides 0 are expendable. Keep Jack alive. Understood. I'll begin the...
That's not right. I broke out when my guards disappeared. I started that riot.
And at this point we start to see the first shades of a bit of a discrepancy between Jack's version of things and the reality, and pointing that out to her will earn us 2 additional Paragon points.
Things might have happened that you didn't see.
The other kids attacked me, the guards attacked me, the automated systems attacked me. That doesn't leave lots of room for interpretation. This place is supposed to be empty. Who the fuck shot that Baron? It's a fresh kill.
Yes, that definitely seems suspicious, so we want to be on our toes. For the moment though, let's quickly bypass the door here and then grab the 500 units of Element 0 behind it. Then it's off to the next area, and this is where things get a little dicey. We want to make sure not to advance too quickly, because as you can see, we have some Blood Pack mercenaries ahead of us. They are mostly Vorcha, but they also have a Krogan in their ranks. Additionally, one of the Vorcha is a Pyro with a flamethrower, and so him and the Krogan should be our first 2 targets. They are the only ones who will try to get close to us, everyone else will keep their distance, and getting caught up in close combat with a shotgun-wielding Krogan or a flame-spitting Pyro, that is definitely not a great idea. Apart from those 2 enemies, however, the fight is very manageable. Much more interesting, on the other hand, is the question why the Blood Pack are here in the first place. For all we know, the facility has been abandoned for years now, and as we saw on our way in, the local wildlife has started to reclaim it. Apart from a few thousand credits, there also doesn't seem to be too much of value here, so the Blood Pack's presence is intriguing to say the least. Now, as the first group of hostiles is defeated, 3 more will pop up from the left side, and it is actually impossible to get close to them, because the area they're in is inaccessible. But then again, they also don't pose too much of a threat. A quick change of cover might be required, but with the sniper rifle they should go down easily.
Why'd they need a morgue? This is a small facility.
Corpses of other subjects analyzed here. Many subjects.
Bullshit. I had the worst of it, and I made it out alive.
Now, from the conversation between Jack and Morton, we learned that this was in fact a morgue, something that is admittedly not quite obvious, which once again indicates that Jack might not have actually been the one suffering the most here. Now, before we investigate further, we can grab one more round of credits from the PDA over here, and then bypass the door that gets us into the next area.
So strange to be back here. I feel like I'm pissed off. I'm a dangerous bitch. But then I'm a little girl again. Shit. It's complicated. Let's just go plant that bomb.
Now, as we get to this point, 2 more Vorcha will appear on the walkway ahead of us, but since we were able to quickly grab cover, they are not too much of a challenge. Heading further down this corridor, we then have a lot of small rooms to the left and right, and as we get closer to the end, we also meet some of the new residents. Once again, a group of Varens seem to have taken a liking to the facility, but also once again, our combined powers quickly take them out.
Kept children here. Unacceptable.
In the second to last room on the right, we can then also find some circuit boards for even more credits. However, that's all we can grab here, so let's move on.
It's a 2-way mirror? My cell is on the other side. I could see all the other kids out here. I screamed at them for hours, and they always ignored me.
Now, from what we've learned so far, it definitely seems like Jack had some sort of special role in these experiments, but it's still somewhat unclear what the overall purpose of the experiments was.
I must have come through here when I broke out. but I don't remember it. This is a bad place.
Now, for Jack, this might be a place that brings up bad memories. For us, on the other hand, it's actually a place where we can learn a lot more about what happened here.
Entry 1054, Telton Facility. The latest iteration of Pergnim went poorly. Subjects 1, 4, and 6 died. No biotic change among the survivors. We lowered core temperatures of surviving subjects, but no biotically beneficial reactions occurred. As a side effect, all subjects died. So we'll not try that on Zero. I hope our supply of biotic potential subjects holds up. We are going through them fast.
This is bullshit. They weren't experimenting on the other children for my safety.
Once again, we have a morality choice here, and it sure seems like Jack's version of the events is slowly but steadily crumbling into pieces, so let's at least offer her a tiny bit of comfort for 2 Paragon points.
You can't help what they did to others.
You don't get it, Shepard. I survived this place because I was tougher than the rest. That's who I am.
And here we can also see it once again. Jack has based pretty much her entire identity around how she believes things went down, but maybe this also allows her to find strength in learning the truth.
You move on, harder and tougher.
It's all fallen to pieces. The subjects are rampaging and Zero is loose. We're shutting Telton down. What a disaster. We'll infiltrate and piggyback onto the Alliance's Ascension program. Hopefully, that will give... What? Zero, wait!
Shepard, they started up somewhere else.
Ascension is an alliance program. It's a school for biotic kids. They don't torture children there.
A lot of this isn't the way I remember it.
And yes, that should be obvious by now. Again though, we can't really put any blame on her, so let's grab 2 more Paragon points here and make sure she knows that.
There was a lot going on.
I was dumb. I keep my eyes open now, and I always shoot first. We're getting close to my cell, the place I came from. Let's keep going.
Alright, so apart from vital information, this area also holds a few treasures, starting with a useful upgrade from the research terminal over here.
We can use this.
Then we also have some power cells over here in the corner, and after we have grabbed those, we can prepare for the final big fight of the mission.
Hey, Aresh, it's Kira. Yeah, the intruders are here. You want them dead? We have to talk credits. You promised us lots of salvage, but this place is a waste. Fine, we'll put them down. Then I'm coming in there and we're gonna talk salvage.
Okay, now make no mistake about it, there is actually no way around this fight. Still, for a slightly more reasonable approach, we can grab 2 more Paragon points, so let's not miss out on those.
What are you doing here?
First we're gonna kill you, then we'll see.
We've been spotted.
Alright, here we are in what looks at first like a very challenging fight. The Bloodpack troops consist of a Pyro, a few troopers, as well as 3 Krogan, and while especially those 3 seem like a big threat to us, they start this fight off so far away from us and equipped with shotguns that for the majority of it they're actually not too dangerous. Instead, our primary focus should be on the Vorcha, especially on the Pyro, and once those are down we can then use some superior long-range firepower to target the Krogan in the back. And as you can see, their strategy is really a bit of a head-scratcher here. I don't think I have to tell you that Krogan are at their best when they're able to get up close and personal, but these fellows here seem to absolutely refuse to do so, and then only move in once the tide has already turned against them. Kurik then remains the last enemy standing, and for him we have a little surprise waiting. Now, we still have not yet successfully completed the Brawler achievement, and as a matter of fact we won't do that in this episode, but we can get one step closer. We only need 4 more punch and shoot kills to unlock the achievement, so with a shotgun in hand, let's bring that number down to 3.
Only room left is my old cell. Whoever Aresh is, he's in there. I want to plant the bomb there anyway. Might as well do it on his corpse.
And there we are, now we only have a handful of things left to do. Of course, we want to find out who that mysterious Aresh is, who is probably also the reason for the blood pack presence. But before we do that, let's loot one more container for 3,000 credits here. Once we have everything, we can then make our way over to Jack's old cell and then find out who's waiting for us inside.
Come out. We know you're here.
Who are you?
My name is Aresh, and you're breaking into my home. I know you, Subject Zero. So many years have passed, and I thought I was the only survivor.
My name is Jack. How the hell do you know me?
We all knew your face, Jack. They inflicted horrors on us so their experiments wouldn't kill you. You were the question, and I'm still looking for the answer.
Alright, looks like we have another survivor here, and from what we've heard, it is understandable that he was drawn back here just like Jack was, and pointing that out will earn us the first 2 Paragon points of this conversation.
Looks like you're not the only one pulled back here, Jack.
I tried to forget this, but a place like this, it doesn't forget you. It follows you. I hired these mercs and came back almost a solar year ago. We're rebuilding it piece by piece. I'm gonna find out what they knew. How to unlock true biotic potential in humans. I'm restarting the Telton facility. It will be beautiful.
I wanted a hole in the ground. He's trying to justify what happened by using it?
Now, we already know how Jack got out, but then again she has a few unique talents, so let's learn a bit more about how he made his escape.
This place was like a prison. How did you get out?
We all attacked at once as they were taking us to the lab. They would have put us down, but then Jack got loose. When I came to, it was over. The guards, the scientists, and the kids were all dead. And you were gone.
I stopped it. All of it. Maybe the others did have it bad, but what you're doing is just messed.
Everything we went through must have been worth something.
And that statement right there is apparently Aresh's core motivation. He wants to start things back up despite or maybe even because of the horrors that took place here, and that is worrying to say the least.
You do the same thing to new kids? Wasn't this forced on you?
Some were bought from poor families on Earth or kidnapped from colonies. Most ended up here the way I did. Batarian pirates. They did such horrible things to us. They must have had good reasons.
There's no reason good enough. Are you nuts? You lived it.
Now, you may have noticed it already, things are boiling down to a choice here, so let's get that discussion over with.
We can blow up the place, but that still leaves him. What do we do with another you?
That's easy.
Just leave me here. This is where I belong.
Fuck that.
Alright, decision time, and as you can see, we don't actually have enough Renegade points here to go with the corresponding Intimidate option. Still, we could go with the Charm option to earn ourselves 15 Paragon points and spare Aresh's life, but we're actually not going to do that. We will still try to save him, but we'll do things a little differently. For now, we will go with the regular Paragon choice here for only 5 points.
Killing him won't help you or my mission. Stand down.
It will help me.
I gave you an order.
This is my call. Don't tell me how to deal with my past.
Jack. Not like this.
Get out of here. Go. He's not worth chasing. None of it is.
And there we are, the Paragon interruption did the job just as well. Just like with the Charm option, we have earned our 15 Paragon points, and we can add 2 more now by applauding Jack's decision.
You did the right thing, Jack.
Maybe. This room was my whole childhood. Give me a minute to look around.
Go ahead.
Nothing's changed, but it's all different. I used this table for everything. It was like my best friend. I'd crawl under it to cry. I was pathetic. Sometimes I dream that I'm back in this bed being tortured. I used to tie the sheets around my wrists and try to rip them off. I want to stop coming back here. I thought that room out there was the rest of the world. I'd pound and yell. Never did any good. See the scarring on the wall here? That's where I killed my first man. One of the guards tried to stop me. Instead, I stopped him. Okay, no more wallowing. Let's blow this place to hell.
And here we are. Jack's loyalty mission is completed, we have saved a life, and we have unlocked the Catharsis achievement. Despite not getting to kill Aresh, Jack is still loyal to us, and that brings this playthrough one step closer to completion. We have also earned enough experience points to advance to level 20, and because Jack is now loyal, we have unlocked the warp ammo power for her as well as a brand new outfit. A few minutes ago, we also hacked a research terminal for a nice bionic damage upgrade, and apart from that, we finished the mission with a nice cash reward of 30,000 credits as well as with 500 units of Element Zero. So let's return to the Normandy now, where an interesting scene will be waiting for us.
Commander, in the middle of a disagreement? Can you head it off before they tear out a bulkhead?
I'll deal with it.
Take pictures.
Touch me and I will smear the walls with you, bitch!
Enough! Stand down, both of you.
The cheerleader won't admit what Cerberus did to me was wrong.
It wasn't Cerberus. Not really. But clearly you were a mistake.
Screw you! You've got no idea what they put me through. Maybe it's time I showed you.
Okay, so somewhat understandable, Jack is currently confronting Miranda about that facility we just visited. And this is a very crucial point in the game, because depending on Paragon and Renegade scores, it is actually possible to lose the loyalty of one of the two women. Now you can see it, we have enough Paragon points to defuse the situation with the charm option, but if that wasn't the case, we would now be forced to side with either one of them, which would cause the other one to lose their hard-earned loyalty.
Our mission is too important to let personal feelings get in the way.
Fuck your feelings. I just want her dead.
You both know what we're up against. Save your anger for the collectors.
I can put aside my differences until the mission's over.
Sure, I'll do my part. I'd hate to see her die before I get a chance to fillet her myself.
You two gonna be okay?
It's a good thing you came by when you did. As long as she does her job, we'll be fine. Thanks, Shepard.
Okay, and here we are, we earn another 15 Paragon points for successfully defusing the situation, and we also managed to keep the loyalty of both Jack and Miranda intact. And I would say that marks an excellent point to make the cut in today's episode. We will probably continue to do these kinds of missions for a while longer, although in the next episode we might test out a new weapon or a new outfit, because there are quite a few DLC armors and guns in the game, and we have really only scratched the surface of what's available. Don't worry though, we won't pick anything that's too overpowered, but for the sake of true completion we want to get a closer look at everything. And with that being said, let's wrap things up for today. As always, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and if you did, then I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you want to support me and my channel further, then by all means go ahead and subscribe. Alternatively, you can of course also check out and maybe pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.